Dun Shows World.
Welcome to Show's World Gamers, Josh here, and as this week draws to a close, I wanted to take a moment to look at this week's new game releases, gaming announcements, and a few news stories. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to join in on the fun. Alright gamers, as always, we'll start off with this week's new game releases. Now definitely the biggest release this week was the new space survival horror game from the director of the Dead Space series, the Callisto Protocol. The game was released today on the PC, the PlayStation 4 and 5, as well as on the Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and the Xbox Series X. This game looks really good, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Next, Need for Speed Inbound was released this week on the PC, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series systems. The arcade-style racing game went with an interesting visual style, adding street art style effects as you drive to a realistic-looking racing game. I did play this game on the channel, so definitely check out that video tagged at the end of this one for more info on Need for Speed Unbound. Soccer Story also released this week on the PC, the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation systems, as well as on Xbox systems. The game is a physics-driven adventure RPG. Now, after playing Dodgeball Academia and really enjoying it, I was pretty excited to give this game a shot. So we did play it here on the channel, and I will link that video at the end of this one. Also, this game was released on Game Pass, so if you're a Game Pass member, you can download it right now and start playing. Front Mission First Remake was released this week on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is a remake of the original Super Famicom game released in Japan. If you're a fan of strategy RPG games, this mech franchise is definitely a must pick up. Sword of the Vagrant is a really fun-looking 2D action game with a really good-looking visual style. The game is coming to PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, the Nintendo Switch, as well as Xbox One and the Xbox Series S and X. This is definitely a game I'm hoping to check out soon. So, if you guys get a chance to check it out, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Lastly, Gundam Evolution is a free-to-play, multiplayer 6 vs 6 online game. It was released this week on the PC, PlayStation systems, and on Xbox systems. I might go ahead and download this game and give it a shot. The visuals look really good and the gameplay looks fast and fun. I'm actually a fan of mech games, and this looks like it could be a good one. Now, let's take a look at some gaming announcements. Now, Starship Troopers Extermination was announced this week. The game is based on the awesome 1997 sci-fi action movie. The game is a squad-based co-op shooter. We have seen footage of up to 12-player co-op. The game is scheduled for a 2023 release, and so far, it looks pretty promising. And I will definitely be keeping my eyes on this game as we learn more. I was a huge fan of the movie, so I hope this turns out to be really good. 2 Point Campus Space Academy DLC was announced by Sega. The original game released on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox systems, and is a business simulation where you manage and run a college. The release date for the DLC is December 6th, so it will be available next week. Infinity Nikki was announced this week with a trailer that had a little bit of everything. The visuals looked really impressive, but a lot of the gameplay looked kind of like a tech demo. It's being called an open-world dress-up adventure. This game, I don't think it's for me. I don't think I'm going to be playing this one, but I could see this game being pretty popular if the finished product does turn out to be good. We also got a trailer and an announcement for Lost Between Worlds, some really cool-looking DLC coming to Far Cry 6. This really looks like a whole different game with a completely different genre of shooter. The DLC will be available next week on December 6th. Alright gamers, let's finish up this week in review with a few news stories from this week in gaming. Now, CD Projekt Red studio head did make a statement about the upcoming Witcher remake, discussing the importance of the game as it was the first game made by the company. CD Projekt Red also discussed some changes as this remake will be a complete open world game, more like The Witcher 3 was, as the original Witcher was much more linear. Now, in some record-breaking news, God of War Ragnarok has become the fastest-selling first-party Sony game, surpassing 5.1 million units in just 10 days. Now, in some more crazy record-breaking news, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has become the fastest selling Nintendo published game, selling a whopping 10.1 million units worldwide in its first 3 days. Hopefully, we get some updates to fix some of the issues with this game before the end of the year. Now, we finally got some news on what to expect from the Twisted Metal television series. It's coming to Peacock in 2023. The series will apparently take place in a post apocalyptic setting with some kind of a package that needs to be delivered across country. The info also stated that they are taking some inspiration from Zombieland, which sounds like it could be a lot of fun. That movie was really good, and it had some comedy, which I think would really fit in well here. Now, we also got a surprise Nintendo Direct this week, but it's not what you expect. There was actually no games at this Direct. It was really short. Instead, we got our second trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. We did get to hear Peach's voice, which sounded really good. We got Mario Kart and Smash Brothers inspired scenes. Also, in what appears to be some training courses, we got what looks like straight up old school 2D side-scrolling Mario level design, which is a nice touch. I can't wait for this movie to release on April 7th of 2023. Now, in some disappointing news, Nintendo has apparently shut down the Smash World Tour just before the finals. The huge Smash Bros. Tournament was one of the biggest esports events of all time. The event, which has been taking place all year, is not run by Nintendo, but instead a third party who ran the World Tour completely independently from the Big N. Unfortunately, Nintendo has stepped in and forced the cancellation of the championship and next year's planned 2023 tour. Alright, gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on December 2nd. The week started with some record breaking sales announcements on some blockbuster games. Then we got another look at the Mario movie as the second trailer was released, and the week ended with Nintendo speaking on some of the issues with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, apologizing for the state of the game, and announcing the first update, which actually dropped yesterday. But let me know anything we may have missed in the comments, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Shoach World out.